Letters to Life. Part 4. An apology that came too late. To you, the one from the years long gone. Today, I want to say something I have owed you for a very long time. A sentence that seems simple, yet I never had enough courage to say it all these years. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for not being there with you on the days you were at your weakest. I'm sorry for leaving you alone to face fears that even I, as the person I am now, still tremble before. I'm sorry because I thought you would get through everything on your own. That time alone was enough to heal all wounds. Now I finally understand not every pain can be erased by time. Some wounds don't fade. They only sleep, waiting for a quiet moment to rise again, gently reminding me how deeply you once hurt. I'm sorry for ever blaming you. I blamed you for the things you couldn't do, blamed you for loving too much, blamed you for hoping for too long, blamed you for holding on to things that no longer belong to you, blamed you for not being as strong as everyone else. And I was wrong. You never deserved to be blamed. You only deserved to be loved. There were days when you screamed in silence, yet I pretended not to hear. There were nights when you were so exhausted you just wanted an arm around you, but I assumed you were strong enough not to need anyone. I'm sorry for making you grow up too fast. So fast that even you no longer remember what you lost along the way. I'm sorry for making you believe that being vulnerable was something to be ashamed of. I should have told you, if you're tired, just fall. I am here. But I didn't, and you stood up on your own. I'm sorry for letting you love the wrong person, not because they were bad, but because you always loved with everything you had. While they only loved just enough. You gave too much, too soon, too sincerely, while they were only willing to hold you when the season was right. You should never have had to endure the feeling of being overlooked like that. I should have pulled you away from the things that made you cry every night. I should have protected you from your own kindness, the kindness you gave so freely, only to be hurt by it in the end. I'm sorry for letting you learn lessons that were far too harsh, when you should have been living years of innocence and peace. And I'm sorry for making you believe that you weren't good enough, not beautiful enough, not smart enough, not important enough for someone to stay. Asterisk, you once stood in front of the mirror and asked yourself, am I not worthy? And no one answered. I should have stood beside you, placed my hand on your shoulder, and said, you are enough, more than enough. But I didn't, and you had to grow up carrying doubts about your own worth. There is something I regret the most. I never allowed you to rest. I pushed you to keep trying to study, trying to work, trying to be strong, trying to be cheerful, trying to live up to everyone's expectations. You kept running without stopping until you forgot that you, too, needed to breathe. I turned you into someone who was always fine in the eyes of others. So no one ever knew there were days you wanted to drop everything and disappear for a while. You tried so hard that, even when you were in pain, you only dared to cry quickly, wiping your tears away, because you were afraid someone might see. I'm sorry for never once asking you the simplest, most sincere question. Are you sad today? To you, the one from the past. I know there were moments when you blamed yourself for not having enough courage to let go of something that hurt too much. But I want you to know this. You weren't weak. You just loved too sincerely. Not everyone has a heart like yours. A heart that, even when hurting, never wants to hurt anyone. A heart that, even when abandoned, still wishes peace for others. A heart that, even when exhausted, still tries to keep the world around it from falling apart. I'm sorry for not cherishing that heart sooner. I'm also sorry for making you believe that your sadness was something you had to hide. You hid it so well that even I, the future you, had to dig deep into old memories just to find it. But I want you to know this. You have the right to be sad. You have the right to cry. You have the right to be fragile. And you have the right to be loved. None of your emotions are excessive. No tear you shed is meaningless. You're not a machine that always has to be fine. You are a human being, a human who has endured too much, yet still chooses to live kindly. For that, I'm sorry for not holding you sooner. Today, looking back at everything, I want to tell you this. You never deserve to be abandoned. You never deserve to be overlooked. You never deserve to carry everything alone. Everything you went through was not because you weren't good enough, but because you live with your whole heart. And sometimes this world simply doesn't know how to treat those who live so sincerely. So once again, I'm sorry, belated, but sincere. I'm sorry for letting you hurt on your own. I'm sorry for not protecting you when you needed it most. I'm sorry for making you believe that happiness was something out of reach. I'm sorry for turning you into someone who always had to be strong. Even when you didn't want to be, you've done so well. So well. Today I stand here, between the present and the past. Hold your hand and say, from now on, let me carry the rest for you.